Hi, my name is Kim. I'm a friend of Todd's, and recently we were, discussing, of course, Corona, and that's all you hear about. However, we also started talking about life goes on, and people are starting to venture into the woods, down by the river, and different things like that. And so another thing that we have to be aware of that packs a punch too, if you would get bitten by the wrong thing, would be Lyme disease and the things that carry it, like ticks, of course. So in this program or little video, we're going to talk about some natural sources for tick repellent, insect repellent, if you want to make it yourself or buy some already made. I'm all about why reinvent the wheel, but for this site alone, I think you guys are, you want to make it yourself. So we will discuss both. Okay, first and foremost, a lot of people will come in and go, hey, I want to make my own tick repellent or insect repellent. And I say, okay, and they ask what oils I recommend. Well, the heavy hitters, of course, are always citronella, lemongrass is very good, geranium oil, but every group is different, as represented here. Many of these companies have made their own insect repellent. Many of these companies will also tell you what they will repel. For example, this one specifically says repels mosquitoes and ticks, as does this one, ticks plus insect repellent. Other ones might not say ticks, but I think it will cross over into that range. So the ready-made stuff, you can just grab a bottle, look on the back, you can grab 3 bottles and just compare ingredients and find the common thread between all of them. And it always goes back to all of these contain citronella, all of these contain lemongrass, etc., etc. So some people tend to stick to the heavy hitters like those, and that's fine. Some will enhance it and add a little bit of cedarwood, add a little bit of mint oils or different things like that. Completely up to you. There's tons of recipes online. In addition, you probably already know some as it is. Okay, so little points that I want you to pay attention to. Whether you buy it yourself, that's great. Keep in mind that it's very interesting stuff. For example, this one, you think, oh, it's in a spray bottle. It's going to come out in a fine mist. It doesn't. It kind of gloobs out, if you will, because the main ingredient in that is soybean oil. And so they want you to put it in your hands, run your hands together and put it where you need to. These others are a fine mist, but that is subjective to your recipe. And those that choose to make their own, here are your essential oils. Need to be combined in, if you want to make a spray, you can use it in water, distilled water. Witch hazel is also a good preserver slash way to, direct the spray or whatever you decide to make. Most commonly, though, most people are mixing their essential oils in with a carrier oil. A carrier oil is an unscented oil meant to do, as it says, carry the essential oils to where it needs to be. After you come up with your blend, you need something to put it in. Bottles, there's spray bottles, there's all kinds of different ways you can do it. But do pay attention to the tube size, because if your oil or your mix is oil-based, it's a little thicker and might be harder to get through these smaller tubes versus a large tube. So pay attention to, okay, I've got my recipe, now what am I going to put it in? And here you go. A couple different ideas there. Many of the oil blends that you decide to make are safe for pets, but be aware of the ingredients that are not. For example, cinnamon oil is not so good for cats or dogs, I believe. So you want to make sure you don't have that in your recipe. And there are companies that specifically have come out with pet-friendly recipes. Many of these companies will also say safe for children and pets. The ones that are not will usually state, not always, but will usually state do not apply, on pets. So that will tell you that there's something in there that they shouldn't be exposed to. Many companies, I like this company, they have an insect repellent and a tick repellent, made in the USA, fun little company, cheap, I feel, very inexpensive, compared to some other things out there. But more importantly, I mean, honestly, the only difference between these two products is one essential oil. Todd and I did a checklist, and one contains cinnamon oil and one does not. One also says insect repellent, the other one says tick repellent. So some people need to see those words on there, like ticks or gnats. This one has some vanilla in it, and man, last year, at least in this area of Kansas, people weren't complaining about the mosquitoes. It was the gnats of all things. So this one was super popular. I like this one. It doesn't smell so citronella-y if you don't like that. So kind of has a nice little vanilla fragrance to it, and it's nice. Gosh, what else can I say? Do you have questions, Todd, or anything I didn't address? Okay. Well, if you have any questions, direct them to Todd, and he can direct them to me. Hopefully, if anything, it just gives you an idea of what's available out there to you with regard to natural things that you can do to repel insects and bugs. In Hawaii, where my family lives, they grow citronella, and they just hack that stuff down and just throw it under the picnic table. It's great. I love it. But the citronella we get around here is super expensive. You only get one plant, and if I hack down that to put under my picnic table, there is my citronella plant. So it's not always easy, and in that regard, a citronella oil goes a long way. So the essential oils are definitely can be an inexpensive way to help keep your family and pets safe naturally.